Have you ever met the connector? Well, he ponders, he helps, he creates, he writes, he speaks. He basically connects people and brings them together. I speak about Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group. At psandallmarketinggroup.com, you will receive an assembled group of Paul's contacts and connections that cross into many sectors of life. Please contact Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com if you are in the market for a wide array of services. Again, please contact The Connector, Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com with any questions. And now, here's Paul Solano, the host of Paul Ponders.
Welcome to Paul Ponders. My name is Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com. Thank you for joining me for my foray into podcasting. It is great to be collaborating with my friend and associate Chalonzo Amos of PodPro Entertainment to bring you some fun, exciting, and informative podcasts. For many years, I've been referred to as the Connector, or in Greater Boston circles as the Connector. With psandallmarketinggroup.com, I've created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please sit back and relax and listen to today's podcast. If you are driving or operating heavy machinery and just listening, then please just listen and stay focused on your task at hand. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy my ponderings. Let #Paul Ponders begin.
Greetings, everyone. How is everyone doing? It's Paul Solano of paulponders.com. Great to have you back, tuning in to another great episode. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to all of our subscribers, all of our listeners who are really just having a grand time rating, reviewing, subscribing to #Paul Ponders. And a shout out to Techie Talonzo in the studio behind the curtain, just doing a wonderful job with his PodPro Entertainment. And it's really worked out well. We've had many great episodes, and I say it all the time, it's true. People stop me at Pearl Street Station Restaurant. They stop me in the street, Stop and Shop, Wegmans. They say, Paul, we heard your latest podcast you dropped. Wow, what a great episode that was. Well, this episode is really just truly an honor for me to really have one of my idols, growing up a Red Sox fan and all, and it's really great to have and to welcome Boston Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli, number 6.
Oh,
Rico,
how you doing?
I'm well, thank you, Rico. So great to have you on.
Good to be on with you.
Absolutely. Rico, we've met each other through the years. I met you a long time ago. I was at a Jimmy Fun Radiothon, and we have a mutual friend, Dave Caiazzo, and we've been reconnected through the years and all. And recently, we were reconnected through the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame, where you're a member of the Hall of Fame and all. But Rico, and again, welcome. Great to have you on. It's really super and an honor. But Rico, many of our listeners have heard the podcast with Tom DiBenedetto before he accepted the award for being honored for the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame. But basically, tell us about the story that made it to Channel 5. It's made it all over the news and all, about a baseball cap.
Yeah.
Take it away, Rico.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a great day when I got that cap from Tom. When we won the pennant, thousands of people came on the ball field, and they were celebrating with us, and it was kind of a wild scene. Jim Lombard, they were taking him they put him on his shoulders, a couple of guys, and they started taking him towards right field. And his shirt was coming off. I mean, everybody was so happy. It was just great. So after I caught the ball, I was good. The last ball, I was going to give that ball to Jim, in hopes that I could get to him with that big crowd, which I couldn't. But I wanted my hat. I don't know, you like souvenirs and stuff, but you couldn't take a uniform or, maybe a bat or something. But your hat you could take because they always had so many hats. So I had my hand on my head. I mean, so hard that I think I still got the holes in my head from my fingers. But when I got towards Lonborg, I think I took it off for a second, my hand off the hat, and all of a sudden, boom, it was gone. Oh, and I saw this young guy running through the crowd, and that was it. I said, oh, I can't believe this, I wanted that hat so badly. But I gave the ball to Lonborg in the clubhouse, and but I kept thinking, geez, that's the hat I wore the whole 67 season. And, what can I do about it? And that was that. I got to meet Tom DiBenedetto because he was and is one of the investors in the Red Sox. So I had a dinner here and there, and one day, one evening, he told me, you know who the guy was that got your hat? I said, no. I says, I'd like to find him. He says, it was me. What? I says, yeah, right. It was you. Come on, will you? He says, it was me. I said, I didn't believe him. And we went our different ways. And then when we went to the dinner, he was being honored. They called me up to the dais where he was speaking, and he had this hat in a cellophane bag. I kind of looked at it, and he says, Rico, I was telling you the truth. I was the guy who stole your hat. And here it is at 56 years later. You're kidding. My God. So I looked at the hat, and sure enough, it had my number on it. It shrunk. 56 years. Either that or my head got bigger. I don't know. But he gave me the hat. Oh, man, what a thrill. And then somebody mentioned it to Channel 5, and they thought it was a good story. They came by Tom's place, interviewed him. Then they came here and interviewed me. And it was really something after all those years.
What a great story. And just to add to that story, I was chatting with Tom about who was going to be in attendance at the dinner. And the dinner was on October 15th. And we were talking about who was going to be there, the guest list and all. I said, oh, by the way, Rico Petrocelli and his wife Elsie will be at the dinner. And he says, really? And he thought about it, and he said, oh, okay, great. He said, I haven't seen Rico in a while. So then he called me back, I think it was the Wednesday, and he said, Paul, Rico is really going to be there. And I said, yes, he will be. Looking forward to seeing him. Haven't seen him in a couple of years, since before COVID. And he said, well, I think I'm finally going to give up the cap. And I said, What's that about? He said, I've been joking. He thinks I've been joking with him all these years about the fact that I was the kid that stole his cap in 1967. I said, oh, really? And it was just too funny.
Oh, it was incredible. After all those years, how can I believe him? Here was a guy who's very successful, in business and the part owner of Red Sox and a really classy guy. And that's no way he was a young guy, stealing my hat.
I love it. It's a great story. And Tom really is just a very genuine guy, and really he's had a great career, and he really loves his Red Sox, and just a really great guy. So Rico, there's so much to talk about. We try to keep our podcasts at the 25-minute point, but we could go on for days and days. But I do want to just ask you about the show that you have on the internet as well, and it's called Great American Collectibles. Is that it?
Yeah, the Great American Sports Collectibles Show.
Okay, right? Tell us about it, please.
I'm Zappala, and I do it. I used to do it every week. I kind of, as I was getting a little older, I said, I'm going to kind of cut back. So I do it every other week. John Mallory does the other week. He's a writer, excellent writer. And I didn't know very much about, baseball cards, memorabilia, bats, the old bats, the Babe Ruths, the Ty Cobbs, and the Willie Mays and Ted Williams, and all of these, different types of memorabilia. And so I looked up read some stuff up on it, but Tom was great. He helped me a lot. And what we do is we were sponsored, and we have sponsors, and many of them are owners of the auction houses. So if you have something that's worth pretty much, and you want to auction it off, and you would give it to one of these auction houses, the people there, and they would see if it's really legitimate and see how good it is. Now, 10 is the highest rating. Of course, everything's perfect on it, all the lines and spaces. And so I got to learn more and more about it, and started asking questions. It was amazing. The amount of money that some of these things, I don't know if you realize that, was 2 years ago, the Mickey Mantle 52, perfect condition at 10, went for $12.5 million.
Wow.
$12.5 million.
Wow.
Jackie Robinson's first contract, $36 million.
Oh, my word.
Nobody bought it. They have it in either in the Hall of Fame or I think it's in the Hall of Fame. But the prices are incredible. The industry has grown in the last 5 years to just it's amazing. Then we have a national show where a lot of the dealers and the auction houses come in, and they bring their cards and memorabilia and bats, and they sell them and they answer questions. It's absolutely fantastic. I never realized, just how much these cards are worth and how many collectors there are out there. The vintage, which is the oldest stuff, besides Mantle and Babe Ruth probably have the highest value amount of money. And Ty Cobb is right up there too. We're talking about these tobacco cards in the early 1900s when these players played them. It's $1.1 million, $1.2 million. This is $1 million. Now Mickey Mantle's 52 rookie card, besides the one that went for $12.5, they usually went around probably $1 million, $1.2 million, $1.3 million, right? 52 card. I had one when I was a kid. Because he was my idol,
right?
Like so many others,
right?
And what we did with it, because the industry hadn't been born yet, we used to throw them up against the wall, put them in the bike, like a lot of people did. And who knew if I had that card? So I cry every time they talk about it.
Right, exactly.
That was something. It's a great industry.
I bet. Well, I think back to the time when my mom, God rest her soul, threw out my baseball cards that I had in a shoebox, and she didn't realize it. And it was one of those things like, oh, my word, what did you do, Yeah.
I know it. I mean, at that time, the industry just wasn't as popular as it is now. It probably just started. And then as players, we never collected anything. My cards, my wife and kids got them. I wouldn't have had them. So a lot of the other memorabilia they put downstairs in the basement on shelves because none of the guys were interested in that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I remember when I was collecting cards, I remember Topps. Topps was the big one, and you got bubble gum inside the card, right? Now, when did you break into the big leagues? What year?
Well, I came up in 63 for the last month of the season, September call up, and I got in one game, but it was great. I traveled with the team, and I got to see what big league life was. It was pretty cool. And we even got meal money. I said, $18 a day, meal money.
Wow.
In the minor leagues, we got $3 a day for meal money.
Wow.
And of course, the prices were less expensive. And then I went back to AAA ball out in Seattle. They had the team out there, and the next year I made the club at shortstop. I was there for a total of 13 seasons.
That's great. Yep, absolutely. And I always remember going to a Sox game and seeing you at third base. Rick Burleson was at shortstop. Doug Griffin was at second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just great. Cecil Cooper was at first. Yeah,
Oh, what a hitter he was.
absolutely. He really was. I've just followed the Red Sox really my whole life, and just great. So really, again, it's super to have you on here on our podcast. But just one follow-up question to the Great American Sports Collectibles. How do our listeners tune in to your show?
Well, you go to Facebook, Great American Sports Collectibles Show. On Facebook, we're on iHeart and Spotify and a local station out of Lawrence. Yeah, we've got some pretty good listeners, and we got really great sponsors. So it's a fun time. We joke around and have some fun with it too. My friend Tom Zappola, he started it, and we've been doing it for 8 years now. Time flies.
It really does. Time flies when you're having fun. Now, I wanted to ask you about the salaries. Okay, you don't have to disclose your salary, your first salary, or whatever. But someone once said it's not the high price of stardom that has ruined the game; it's the high price of mediocrity. What do you think about the salaries and what's happening?
Good question. Baseball's changed, of course. There are new rules. The athletes are very good, but they're not real sharp with little things, throwing to the correct base and all that base running and all this stuff, because they come up fast now. Maybe a couple of years and boom, that they're needed in the big leagues. They're up there and they learn up there and they make mistakes. But the money, that's been the biggest change. It's all about the money. I don't have anything against the owners making money. You got, if you have a business, you got to make a profit to stay in business. But they got the big TV contracts. And then, of course, the players are also getting their share of it. And it's been tremendous. Now, the thing is, some of the salaries are ridiculous. We know that 30 million, 40 million, 5 or 10-year contracts and all that stuff. But if that's the owner, if that's what they want to pay, none of us would turn them down. So I don't begrudge the players. But it's like a lot of things that are happening in the world today or in our country. Money is really the incentive. More and more money. The owners now, they have their own station, local TV and radio. They get big bucks for that. Streaming. Now the gambling's part of it. There's so much income coming in, and the players are taking advantage of it. But I really don't begrudge him. I really don't begrudge him. The thing is, you're right. There's just so many mistakes that a lot of the players are making. And with all the strikeouts, it's kind of tiring. I'm so glad that they got rid of the shift. Really, that was ridiculous. Play the game like it's supposed to be played. They want to get to the kids. They want, the next generation to like the Red Sox, so they keep coming to the ballpark and keep watching. The Red Sox, they're just, people love them. The Red Sox nationwide, you go to, you see it on TV. Go to Baltimore, there's more Red Sox fans there. Go out west to California, Texas, there are more Red Sox fans. It's incredible.
I love it. It's great marketing, and the Red Sox Nation brand is, in fact, really, really something. And the new ownership that's been in since, I believe, 2002 has really done a fine job in marketing and really just reaching out. And kudos to them. It's really a great brand. But when you look at the new rules that they just put in this year, I only went to 2 games this past summer. I went to one with my wife and one with some friends and colleagues. I just noticed, though, the pace of the game really was a lot faster, and it was like really spot on, and it was really a well orchestrated production.
Yeah, absolutely. The pitch clock has really done, helped this tremendously. It was successful in the minor leagues, and so that when they brought it up, it just it really helped. And then they had some other things in mind, with this the umpire. They were going to not eliminate the umpire, but they're going to, I don't know, some contraption where the umpire can be told, that box They just sit in the center field shop. That if a ball hit that, the umpire, somebody would say, or some signal or something would say strike. Another one would be a ball, and this way they can have no mistakes whatsoever, no human mistakes. And I'm pretty sure. You know what? Now I think about it, I don't think they ditched it. I think they're still working on that. That's really too much, as far as I'm concerned. Still a great game on the field. The World Series was pretty good, although, it was two teams that close together in Texas and Arizona. And, the networks, they want the New Yorks and the Chicagos and the LAs so they get some big numbers. It's still the game. It's still a great game.
It certainly is still America's most favorite pastime, I believe, right?
Well, yeah, kind of. Football's catching up. But when Brady was here, it was all Patriots, let's face it.
It really was.
That was, wow. That was great.
It really was.
The Sox, now, they've got you can't have a lousy team in such a big market and a team with such tradition. It's easy for us to say, spend the owner's money. Come on, guys, spend. If they have it, they should. I mean, you got to have a good team, a real competitive team here. And they got to go out and get some players. What you need, the ideal situation is bring your young players up, let them play a couple of years, get experience, and then go into the free agent market to fill those other spots with good players, not, run-of-the-mill guys, but to get some good ones that can make a difference. So I think I really believe they're going to do it.
Without a doubt. Well, Rico, we're starting to wind down, but I just wanted to just come full circle as to when I met you many, many, many years ago when I was president of the Malden Lions Club, and we had a bunch of our volunteers, the Lions. This was way back when, BITD, as my daughters would say back in the day and all. But yeah. Are you still doing some work with the Jimmy Fund?
No, not anymore. I worked for them for 3 years with Mike Andrews. And after that, I got back into baseball, did some coaching for the White Sox and managing, and also for the Red Sox at Pawtucket, and coached a few more years and finally retired, got into some businesses.
That's great. That's awesome. And I had at the it's National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame dinner, I saw your son, Michael. It was nice to see him. I had met him once before. He's doing great, I guess.
Yeah, he's doing very well. Promotional products and marketing. And I started in 99 and then transferred over to him after about 10 years. He came with me a couple of years and I said, okay, I've had enough. So he's done a great job with it. I have 4 sons, 9 grandkids. So
wow.
Yeah, I'm an
God
old
bless.
time.
Wow. No. You still look you look great. And it was really great to see you. And I'm so glad that you made it down to that dinner at Anthony's on that Sunday. It was really great. But Rico, we could go on for hours and hours with all the great stories. Maybe we'll have you back on again somewhere down the road, God willing, and all. But I want to thank you for taking the time and telling us about the cap in your career, and it's really just an honor to have you on. Do you want to say anything else?
I thank you, and you've been a good friend all these years. And Dave Cayazzo is a great friend also. And I also tell the fans, I mean, I'm not just saying this, they've been the best. They've been wonderful to me. Jim Lomberg lives in the area, a few other guys, and they've been wonderful to them too. And I can't thank them enough for that. It's really been good. I've been blessed myself, and I'll tell you, I am so happy that I signed with the Boston Red Sox. They were interested in me. I find myself being blessed that I got the chance to play Major League Baseball. It was a dream come true.
Well, with that, my friend, you are a true gentleman, a true scholar, just an absolutely wonderful person. And Rico, I thank you for being on with us.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome. Well, everyone, again, Rico Petrocelli, number 6 in your starting lineup, and just a true gentleman, and a pleasure to have Rico on. Look forward to catching up with everyone somewhere along the way and all, but as always, Techie Talonzo in the control booth. Thank you for producing a great job, a great episode. Thank you to Pod Pro Entertainment. Thank you to everyone for listening, subscribing, reviewing. #Indeed. I trust that you have enjoyed #Paul Ponders. Again, my name is Paul Solano of PS&All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com to do some more pondering. Many thanks to my longtime collaborative friend and associate, Chalonzo Amos of Pod Pro Entertainment, in bringing you our fun, exciting, informative podcasts. You rock, Techie Chalonzo. With PS&All Marketing Group, I created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com with any questions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Paul Ponders. Follow us on Twitter at Paul Ponders Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Paul Ponders Podcast. Thank you again for listening to #Paul Ponders, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, paulponders.com, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment, #Paul Ponders lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. #the new radio. Until we meet again, my friend, stay well. #Indeed.